What's up, y'all? I need to get into this clip. This wife of over 15 years thought it was a good idea to abandon her vows in her marriage, come on this podcast, and to further disrespect my marriage by putting all the business out here.
Boy, ain't no way, boy. Boy, ain't no way, boy.
But I want y'all to check out this clip, and then we are going to chop it up. Thank y'all for watching.
Been married for more than 15 years.
Congratulations. Congratulations. That's fucking dope.
I'm so sorry. I have been in a side relationship that my husband recently found out about. How can I convince my husband to let me keep the side?
I beg your pardon?
First of all, he shouldn't. How did he find out? Did he go through your phone? Because that is a breach of privacy.
I mean, how the fuck you gonna go through my phone?
Why you gonna go through my phone for?
Hang it up.
You know what's so funny is that if it was a woman up here and she was saying how she found out her husband had a side chick, the women would justify and say, you know what, you were right in going through his phone. They were gonna let that slide. They would find no issue with her going through her husband or her man's phone. They would actually encourage it. Okay.
Okay, hold on. Multiple layers there. Are you happily married?
Clearly not, right? She's
So here's the thing. No. Before we go, whoa. We let's not put the carriage in front of the horse. Real. Do you feel like you can be happily married and have a side piece? Trill, answer right the fuck now.
Let me know. Do you all believe, especially if you are married, do you believe that you could be in a happily committed relationship yet still have a side piece, whether you are male or female? Let me know down in the comments.
I would say no.
Okay.
I would say no. I think for the most part, if you got the side piece, he filling a role that your husband is not. So you got to look in that mirror and ask yourself, is the role that this person filling enough for me to leave this 15 plus year marriage? And judging by the enthusiasm in your tone, it's sounding to me like the marriage is over. That's just my
Kitty, no, we're not gonna go there yet. We haven't dove into this question, okay? Kitty.
Kitty, you ready?
For worse.
This is a mess.
I need your attention. Because if we say for better or for worse, that means for better or for side piece, doesn't it?
No.
Mm.
I'm not gonna do this with y'all today.
Right.
You in trouble. You need to change that convince word to manipulate.
We.
We're not gonna play those games right now. You took a vow. You took vows.
Sure
You
did.
stood before God or whatever it is you believe in and said that you were going to love this man in sickness and through health, for rich and for poor.
Amen.
You said that you committed whenever you took that vow. You committed to be there even in the hard times, even in the times where you were not fully emotionally fulfilled. You still took on that position to say that I'm going to have those conversations. I'm going to communicate. I'm not going to breach the trust in this marriage. You lack marital integrity.
Yep.
And if you lack marital integrity, you lack integrity as a person as well.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied. You ain't lied.
Y'all hear some of the women in the background? Some of the women in the audience, I see why they would find issue with that. And it's quite funny because we know for a fact, if it was a man stepping out on his wife, and when I have called out the women who were not, sister in the sisterhood, they were not upholding all of this. Oh, we a girl's girl. As far as the women who are creeping with married men, the pushback that I always get when I talk about how there is a lack of sisterhood is that, well, he's the husband. He made a vow. And I 100% agree. And I would never, ever try to negate the fact that the husband took a vow with his wife. Although the women are knowing that this man is married and they're sleeping with married men, I never lose the fact that the husband is married and he took a vow, and it is also his responsibility to honor the vows as well. But you see how anytime a woman who, and in this case, she's a wife, She was the one that stepped out on her marriage. We are assuming this was a monogamous marriage. The women are going to always try to figure out a way to try to, blame the man, right? It was his fault for her stepping out, get my vows, disrespecting the marriage, having no marital integrity. They're going to always find a way to blame the man, always.
So my next point to make is the audacity must be on sale right now to be able to say, how can I convince my husband, a man at that, convince my husband to let me still have a side relationship as if I did not betray this man, as if I did not hurt this man, as if I did not dishonor this man, as if I did not disrespect this man, and you want to ask for something? You want to ask for what it seems like more of a favor because it's only going to work in your favor.
Right.
It's nothing that is going to work for him. I don't like when we play these games like this. You entered into what you two believed was a monogamous agreement. And you made it a polyamorous thing. You did. Let me tell you something else that you did.
That's right, Kitty. Read her for filth. Get her, Kitty. Why is she acting like she's shocked? She was the one that stepped out on her husband, and she already knew that she was in the wrong. And you know that Kitty's one of the main cast members of this podcast. Why did she think that she wasn't going to get ate up like that?
Help me understand.
Thought that Kitty was going to agree with that? Now, Keita, I can expect her to try to, scapegoat the husband, place blame on the man, not hold accountability, allow her to get a pass for her actions. I can expect that from Keita and a lot of the other women that tend to come on these podcasts. Not all the women, because they do have some solid women, regardless to marital status, that they have some sense and they understand, right? That when you are in a relationship, they wouldn't want it done to them, right? But they want to give all of this grace when it is the other way around, right? And she thought that she was going to get a pass. She's clutching her pearls as she should, but she already knew that she was in the wrong. Because my thing is this: if you knew you weren't so quote unquote happy in your marriage, which I have a whole thing about this whole concept of happiness being completely on the shoulders of your spouse. I do not believe that your spouse is 100% responsible for your happiness. Yes, you are one in a marriage, but you also have a responsibility within yourself to identify the things that you value, to identify the interests that you may have, to understand how to control and how to have emotional intelligence, all of those different things, to have empathy, how to have compassion, to not be self-centered. That is your responsibility as well in a relationship.
This is the problem that I have. Whenever you open up your marriage to something that somebody else did not consent to, if your side piece has depression or anxiety, anything like that, there's a spiritual exchange that takes place when you go sleep with somebody else that you now have invited into your home. So part of the reason why your marriage is not happy is because you were lusting over the fence to begin with. You invited that into your marriage. You corrupted your home.
She did.
The best thing for you to do, because he does have the right to leave you, the best thing that you could do, the responsible thing you could do, is either end that relationship on the side or leave that man alone and let somebody else find him.
Amen. Amen. Release that husband. Release him. And I agree 100%. Because the moment that she decided that she was going to step out and make it, like Kitty said, a polyamorous relationship, it was very one-sided. Now, it's one thing if, and there are plenty of couples, that they like the polyamorous relationship. They don't mind open relationships, and they enter into the relationship with and on those terms. That's, their business. That works for them. But when you are entering into a monogamous relationship, we talk a lot about how as women, we feel so, betrayed, and we feel like there is a lack of trust when our significant others, or if our husband were to step out on us, especially when we have been so faithful and we have been holding them down and we have been so forthcoming and honest. So to believe that you as a woman, that you are not to be held to that same standard if you are both entering into the relationship on the terms of monogamy, I think that she needs to, like Kitty Rose said, she needs to let this man loose and let him find a good woman who is willing to enter into that role, and a honest, respectful, a woman that has integrity as a woman and as a wife. Let her come in and be that wife that he needs, because it's already obvious that you would try to manipulate this man. She said convince. So it already lets me know that you are not willing to let this man go for whatever reason. And you are putting things onto your husband that he never signed up for. The transferring of spirits, right? And God knows, who this man is dealing with, because please believe this man is more than likely dealing with other women as well. So it's a whole lot of finagling and a whole lot of, transferring of spirits going on. Not to mention the opportunity and risk for STDs, STIs, so on and so forth. And this woman looks to be too old for pregnancy, but that's a possibility as well. So if this husband decides to take her back, it has to be on the premise, in my opinion, that this woman ends the relationship. But to expect that now that your husband, no matter how he found out about your dealings with this man, it's on what you want to do. Because if you don't want to be honest, if you don't want to be transparent, because you're going to have to be very honest and transparent at this point, because this man is not going to trust you for a while. You can forget all of that. You're going to be looking at you side-eye. That doesn't mean that if he chooses to accept you back and you ended this relationship, that he gets to throw it up in your face the same way I would say if it was the other way around. If a man cheats on his wife and she decides to take him back, I don't think it's right for her to throw it up in his face, but there's going to be a level of skepticism when a person has been dishonest and they have crossed the boundaries of the marital covenant. When they have said, forget those vows that we have taken, forget the fact that we were supposed to be one. When you decide to do something to cause a crack in the foundation, it's going to take a lot of time to repair and heal from that. But in my opinion, it sounds like she is stuck on dealing with this side dude for whatever the reason is. And it's quite funny that she would want to try to have a conversation and convince her husband to allow her to have this side dude, but she wasn't mature and woman enough to talk to her husband about her needs or the concerns that she may have had prior to even dealing with this man. I wish we would just stop playing these games as if women are the victims all the time when it comes to infidelity, because that's not the case. Women cheat just as much as men do statistically. This woman had no issues and no problem with being in a marriage for 15 years. First of all, the marriage rates are already low for Black women. We are the least to get married. 27% of Black women are married. And unfortunately, this is a perfect example of how a man could be with you for over 15 years because they've been married for over 15 years. Who knows how long they've actually been together. He could be giving her the shirt off of his back, and then this is how she repays him, because she took advantage of the fact that he has been loyal to her. The fact that he's been, and these are all assumptions, that he's been, taking care of business in the home. He has been working. He is doing all the things that women want. They want a provider. They want a protector. They want a leader. They want a man who can problem solve. All of those different positions and obligations. Regardless to whatever you might be doing, you can work, you can have all these hustles, but there is still an expectation for your husband to cover in all areas of your life, including spiritually. But you decided to break those vows and you are not to be trusted anymore. So let me know what you all think down in the comment section about this video. I pray whatever way they go, they get some closure and everyone can move on with their life and do what they need to do. But this is a prime example of why many men are not even opting in for marriage, because a man could do any and everything, and then she will take your kindness, the fact that you are a good man, that you are loyal, she will use that against you, and then she the whole time got a whole nother life going on. But let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. Until the next video, peace, y'all.
You know what I find very interesting? None of y'all as women are standing on anything. What are y'all standing on?
If you think I'm here to play around with y'all, God damn it, I'm not.
What do you take me for? Somebody that is that gullible to believe that manipulation? please. You must not know that I'm protected by this boot that is gonna get stamped in your face if you don't get the hell away from me. I know what gaslighting look like.